Hi guys and welcome back to Christian Casts where I build baits so you don't have to. Today I am doing another variation of this lure. I really liked how the last one turned out. If you haven't seen it yet, it was a interpretation of a brown trout. I'll maybe pop the video up here or there and you guys can check it out. We did some detail work with a paintbrush and I just really enjoyed it, so I thought we gonna do the rainbow trout optic or a interpretation of a rainbow trout and just see how that goes. I'm not too sure which eyes I'm gonna go with, if I'm gonna do it more realistic or a little bit bright and flashy. We'll see in the video itself. I am also going to try different colors because I never know how I actually did the last rainbow trout I tried to do. So we're just gonna see how this one turns out, and I'll pop you guys on the desk straight away and we'll get on airbrushing in a moment. Welcome to the desk view. We are gonna add our white grounding color as always, and we'll just straight away go ahead and do a nice white clean finish. It's very weird, there must be something in my airbrush because I am actually getting a lot of dots. If you maybe the camera focuses, we don't want that. So I'm gonna try and look at my airbrush and I'll get you guys back once I carry on grounding. So it seems like something in the nozzle was not quite normal, so I cleaned it out and now it should be working again quite well. There we go, we don't have these sprays anymore, which were problematic. And now we're just gonna set that off and we'll actually mix into the white a little bit of gray and maybe a little drop of silver shimmer, because we are going to go over the top and sides of the bait. So we've got our mixed Franken gray loaded, and we're just going to go ahead and take our lure and go over the top just like that, and also over the entire side. So that is going to be our optic for the first layer. I always find a rainbow trout really easy to make because it's not a lot of colors. It's white, gray, purples and pinks, and I tend to now always go with a darker gray than the scale pattern, that the scale pattern actually picks up a bit, but you'll see that anyway in the following steps. So the next color is already going to be a purple, and we're just going to go ahead and paint a lateral line across the entire bait, and just like that. So we're not going to go too bright because I'm still going to add a little line of metallic purple before adding the bright fluorescent pink middle of our lure. So we're just going to go ahead and then we'll let that dry. We have loaded the metallic purple. I don't know, you can pick up a little bit of the difference on camera. And now I'll just again go ahead and add a little bit of that. Like that, and then we'll grab him. So we've got a little bit of a shimmer, and now we're gonna go over and really add something bright, and that's gonna be our fluorescent pink. Well, we have added our fluorescent pink, and we're gonna grab our head and just make sure to get it a little bit like that. So it looks quite bright now, but one's not allowed to forget, once these scales go on, the scales cover up quite a lot of the original color. So we'll just see the pattern underneath the scales, and then you can use color. You don't have to be afraid. So there we go. Quite happy with that. Now the next step is I'm going to take the original gray without mixing it without anything else, and we're going to darken down the top. So as I was saying, before we do the scale pattern, we are going to take our normal gray without mixing anything in, and we're just going to go over the top, clean up any overspray that we had, just like that. And now I take the head, so there we go, cleaned up all the overspray, and now we'll prepare everything for the scale pattern, and we'll see how it looks. So I've prepared everything for the scales, and I made a dark mixture, and we're just going to go over the head. You won't see the airbrush again because I'm going from the side. So that's going to be the first layer. Now I'm just going to swap up, clean out the airbrush, put in some silver with a little bit of acrylic ink for some shimmer, and we lighten the whole thing a little bit up, and that's going to be the last step before I do the scale reveal. So we've got our light silver, and we'll just repeat our steps of before. Now I'll let that dry, and I'll get you guys back for the reveal. Now I'm just going to take a look at what we were able to create. So I actually like that quite a bit. I'll put that to the side and go over to the tail. So that's what I meant with I go over with the dark gray, that we can actually pick up on the silver also on the top, and I'm quite happy with that. So it will look about like this. And now I'll clean up a little bit, and then I'll still paint some dots on and get some details going, and then we'll see how it looks after the clear coat. So we've got our small paintbrush again, and we're just gonna go ahead that's gonna be the first part of the black dots. I'll let this dry a little bit. Maybe I'll get one still up here, and I'll get you guys back once I turn it over to the other side. So now we've got our, see, bumped the camera, last part. There we go. We've added our black spots, and now we'll let that dry, glue in the eyes and clear coat the bait. We are now going to glue in the eyes, and I decided to not go the realistic way, and because I've got these pink eyes and I have to use them anyway, so I thought we're just going to go with them because it brings out the color a little bit more, and that is not something bad. So that's going to be the eyes of our bait. As you see, it's got the little spots, and I'm going to get everything ready for the clear coat, and then we are doing the final steps of our bait build. So we're going to start with our tail today again, because the eyes are still drying in. So just going to make sure we cover it up nicely. Just like that. I like to say just like that if you haven't noticed yet. There we go. So now I will blowtorch him quickly, and then we'll set him off to harden, and then we'll do the head exactly the same, and then I'll see you guys for the outro, and I'll let you guys go with the sealing process, because it's anyway always the same. If you've seen already a video of mine, you anyway won't be sticking around for this, because it's just always pretty much exactly the same. Now the eyes are dry, and I'm just going to give you a short look at how the head looks under a coat of UV resin, and then I will not hold you up longer, and we'll jump to the outro. So pretty much just take a look at that nice glisten, and I'll see you guys shortly. Hi, and welcome back to the outro. I am quite happy with the bait of today. It's a little bit in the Rainbow Trout optic. It is very freely moving, and as you know, I really like this lure model, and I'm not even too sure if next week's video is going to be a bait build, or if we maybe even take one out already to try and see if we are able to catch something, because the season has started already, and I'm really looking forward to get out. The weather was nice. and the water levels are really low and the water is quite clear, so we'll try and get out there again and actually test these lures. I still like the brown trout optic a bit more. It's a bit cleaner from the build itself. I'm not too happy with the joint on this one, but we're here to improve. And thanks for tuning in again. If you have any questions, just reach out to me in the comments and I'll try to get back to you guys. I wish you a great one, and we'll see each other for the next video. Cheers.